What is up, YouTube? I am Reckless, and if you know my channel, then you are probably wondering what we are watching. We are watching Halo 4. I put it in this morning for the first time in probably a year, or possibly more, I don't know. I got it when it first came out. We're gonna get to that eventually, and get to the reasons why I'm playing it, but first I want to get something clear. In this gameplay, you will probably see me have some terrible shots, maybe nick a teammate or two, but I will not kill them, and I may or may not shoot a hologram. I literally put the game in this morning for the first time in a year, so lay off. Now that we've got that out of the way, we can all be friends and move forward. If you are curious about the gameplay though, I will be posting 2 games back to back since they were only about 5 or 6 minutes long each. I don't know the names of the maps, sorry, like I said, it's been a while since I've played, but I got 15 kills one map and 16 the other, so I hope you enjoy the gameplay. If you didn't know, this is not new news or anything, but I am very excited. So if you didn't know, they are re-releasing the Halos this fall, I believe it is, on the Xbox One. And from what I understand, they are keeping the graphics the same for everything but Halo 2. Halo 2 is going to be completely overhauled with the graphics, and it's going to be bumped up to 60 frames per second. They are also bringing multiplayer online support back for that game as well, and all of the games, and if I understand correctly, it's all going to be on Xbox One, so that means we're going to get to keep playing this for as long as the Xbox One is the current console. This is extremely exciting for me, and I thought I would explain why that is. Since I'm a Call of Duty player, you might be wondering, why are you posting Halo, why are you excited about Halo, etc. So I will go into all of that, and so this is a good reason for me to talk about my history of gaming and what has led me to this point in gaming. I honestly don't remember when when the first video game I got was. What I do remember is my neighbors at the time had an NES, and we were playing Super Mario Bros, and that's basically all we had. It's not that we couldn't afford a game console, I guess, when I was younger. It was more that gaming just wasn't a big deal, and I mean, when I was younger, we used to play outside, and we would build forts in creeks and use our imaginations and stuff, and yes, I'm a little bit older than most of you probably watching, but that's what we did. So the idea of a gaming console wasn't a huge thing for me, but I do remember, like I said, my neighbors had an NES. I played Super Mario Bros. And then one day I came to my grandma's house because my grandma used to babysit my cousin and me, and I guess she needed something for us to do during the winter time, because during the summer she had a pool, we would swim, but she had lots of toys and stuff, but we were getting a little bit older, so she got us a Super Nintendo for when we were over there. And I remember the first game we had was Super Paperboy 2. We played the crap out of that game, and then we started adding to the collection. Super Bases Loaded, and I remember the first shooting game I ever played was Contra 3. I had played Castlevania a little bit before, but Contra 3 was the first shooter game I ever played. That was a blast. It is still to this day one of my favorite games of all times. Whenever my cousin and I get together, we will sometimes actually break out the Super Nintendo, and if we do, that is the game that we will play on it. And the thing about that game is it had, I think, 6 levels, and it didn't take that long to beat, but whenever it ended, it would just start you right back at the beginning, just dropped you right back at the beginning with however much ammo you had and whatnot. So we would just play that for hours and hours and hours, just going through and through it and see how long we could last. And that was a blast. So then after that, my parents actually got us a Super Nintendo, and I basically duplicated my gaming collection and added to it. So my next gaming console was the Nintendo 64. I remember we got that for Christmas the year that it came out. We got the basics for it: Diddy Kong Racing, Super Mario 64, and things like that. And if you played Nintendo 64, when the Nintendo 64 was the current console, you probably know what game I'm about to say, and that was GoldenEye 64. That game revolutionized my life in gaming. Not even joking. I was absolutely hooked. The most hooked I had ever been on any video game ever, and that is saying a lot since gaming had been such a huge part of my life. Here is how much I played that video game. Fun fact, that video game, since it only had the one analog stick, you had to walk forward and aim with the one analog stick, and then strafing was with your right hand using the C button, so you would have to strafe left and right. And a lot of people who played GoldenEye broke out of that habit because the default for first-person shooters nowadays, since it has two analog sticks, is you walk forward and strafe with the left thumbstick, and you aim up, down, left, right with the right thumbstick. That was not the case with GoldenEye, but since most people didn't play it that much or at all, they were able to, break that habit and then pick up the new way easily, but I guarantee you they probably would have a tough time playing GoldenEye 64. I played that game literally so much that to this day, I have to play on legacy thumbstick controls. So yeah, if you guys try to do the troll on me where you try and get me to do something with the legacy thumbstick layout, it won't work because that's what I play on. I also play on inverted. So if a game does not have that, it sucks because I do absolutely terrible because I have to play on legacy and I have to play inverted. I just can't not play like that. So anyway, I hope that explains to you how much I played this video game. And obviously there wasn't online support for it, so we were playing on a box TV with 4-person split screen. There was screen watching, things like that. It was the cheapest thing ever, but it was the funnest game I had ever played in my life. So after that is when I basically started high school, and during high school I didn't game very much at all. I was more into hanging out with friends. I also skateboarded a lot, so almost all of my free time was taken up by either school, friends, and or skateboarding. The last two kind of coincided. So when we did get together, we basically just broke out the Nintendo 64 and would go back and play old GoldenEye games. Then, after I graduated high school, I moved in with my friend Brandon, and he had an Xbox, and he had Halo 2, and that made me fall back in love with gaming. And when I say fall back in love with gaming, I mean we played that game from the time we got off work, if we didn't have class, until the morning, if we didn't have anything to do the next morning. And even if we did have stuff to do the next morning, we played until we had to go to bed. We didn't have Xbox Live at the apartment because still at this point, we didn't even have smartphones. Internet was important and internet obviously was a big deal and most people had it, but it was still at the point where if you didn't have it, you weren't really missing out on anything. What we would do though was play the campaign. Just play the campaign. We'd have all of our friends over. We'd still do the 4-player split screen. We would play that game into the ground and it never ever got old. My friend Tim also had Xbox Live. That was my first experience ever with Xbox Live, was with Halo. Then shortly after that, Halo 3. So those were the two first video games I ever played on Xbox Live online with other people. So you can imagine the impact that would have on my life after playing all of these video games for that long, never against other players online, just always against other players in the same room, always being a friend. You can imagine how big of an impact it had on me to actually play a video game online against other people. Most kids today, that's their first experience with video games ever. This is going on 20 years of playing video games, and this is my first experience was on Halo 2. This is why Halo 2 coming back and being able to play online again was such a big deal, because after the Xbox 360 came out, you could no longer play Halo 2 online. Now the Xbox 360 would still support it, but you could only play against split screeners. You couldn't play online. So it coming back is a huge deal to me. Now I'm going to go ahead and finish out this story. It's not too much to tell because after that, my friend Tim, once again, who, had Xbox Live, he got Modern Warfare 2. And the second I played that game, everything was over. As many flaws as that game had, it was fast-paced, it was a blast. It's not really anymore, hate to say it, but that game holds the most sentimental value to me next to Halo 2 ever, and that's what got me hooked on Call of Duty. Ever since then, it has been Call of Duty. I haven't even really played Halo. And that's why I'm so rusty at Halo. If you look at my gameplay, that's why I'm so rusty, is because I didn't play very much Halo 3, then Halo Reach and Halo 4. I mean, I bought them simply because they were Halo and because Halo meant so much to me, but I never played them hardly at all. I played a little bit of Halo 3 and that was it. And then after that, I got Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2 is what caused me, personally, to decide to get an Xbox 360, get Xbox Live, and after that, I went back and bought all of the old Call of Duties because a lot of people still played World at War and COD 4, so I still got my experience with that. I didn't get to experience COD 4 when it very first came out, which sucks, but I did go buy all of them the second I got Xbox Live, and it was just, I mean, it was just Call of Duty all the way. But now that Halo is coming back, I am very excited for this. Halo 2 anyway. I am very excited about this. Let me know if you guys want to see more Halo. If not, no big deal, I can continue to play Call of Duty, but I'm not gonna lie, I had a lot of fun playing Halo today. So yeah, let me know in general what you'd like to see at all. I have, like I said, I have all of the Call of Duties, I have all of the Halos. Let me know what you want to see and I can post it. Also, let me know what you think. Are you excited about Halo? Do you care? Do you not care? Also, did you play GoldenEye 64? And if you did, do you play on legacy controls? I'm really interested to hear if any of you have the same problem that I do. Other than that, guys, I hope you learned something about me today, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment, let me know what you thought. Leave a rating, a like is always appreciated, but if not, as always, that's cool. And this has been Reckless, guys. Take it easy or don't take it at all. Peace.